makes anything better. Hey, technology, don't we love it? Technology, don't we just love it? Okay, Hang about, right, I figured it. I have figured it. Right, we've figured it out, I've sorted it. There we go. I should have sorted it anyway. Hopefully. Oh no, I've not figured it. I've not actually figured it. Have I? Okay, sounds like I might have sorted it, judging by me watching the stream on my phone. Okay, right, so start this all over again. Apologies for the technical difficulties, guys. Wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that to happen. So technology, isn't it amazing? You know, amazing when it works and amazing when it doesn't. So anyway, right. So welcome to the stream, welcome to my channel, and welcome to my island. Oopsies. I've been playing on my Xbox a lot, so I'm getting confused with how buttons work because they're the other way around on the Xbox. So anyway, hello everyone, hope you're okay, hope we're all managing to still stay relatively sane and hunky-dory in this lockdown. Well, say lockdown, it's kind of a little bit iffy about lockdown, especially in the UK, because, you know, there's the law of comings and goings, that you can apparently go wherever you like and stuff. Like you can have a fun jolly jaunt up to Barnyard Castle, or Barnard Castle even, to test your eyesight. So, but anyway, aside from the point, hope we're all doing good. You know, now that we've finally gotten live, and now that we're finally on our way, welcome to the island. This is my island. Well, this is my island's airport, technically. My island is called Tarasaigh, which is the Gaelic name for the island of Tarasaigh, and Helen's come prepared for this one, ladies and gents, because we have fun information. So, Tarasaigh, or Tarasaigh even, is located off the coast of Scotland. It's that little red circled island that you can see on the map, or that you can hopefully see on the map, providing that we are not having more technical difficulties. Can't talk today. So, Tarasaigh is about 4 miles. Start again. 4 by 3 miles across. So it's pretty small. It's in the Outer Hebrides, off the coast of Scotland, as I said. It was the location for a BBC TV series that I never heard of before I researched the island, called Castaway in 2001, I think. And those of us who are English, we might recognise this name. One of the people who was on the island on the TV show Castaway was Ben Fogle, who is now a Country File presenter and TV personality, I guess you could say, in his own right. He did try to buy the island, but the sons of the guy who originally owned the island, who also owned the island of Harris, which is just to the north, they sold it privately in 2011. So yes, so that is a brief history on Tarasaigh or Tarasaigh. As I said, that's the Gaelic name for it. I chose the name, well, I didn't actually choose the name Tarasaigh. I was looking up islands that were uninhabited, or didn't have like a very large population. I whittled it down to a few, and I got my bunny to choose the name out of a little cup. And he picked up Tarasaigh. So, and also Tarasaigh was the one that I was secretly hoping of getting. So yes. Anyway, so few things to change since I last did my island tour, and hence why I am redoing the island tour. So last island tour that I did, Chief had decided to move out. Chief was one of the villagers that I moved in with an amiibo card. So wasn't too disappointed. It was like a kind of a last pick anyway, just to fill the island up. But now he has been replaced with Whitney. And oh boy, today's a good day because the final villager that I moved in with a amiibo card, which was Knox, otherwise known as the Bell Chicken. I used Knox to kick out Tad, who was my original jock villager, because I didn't really like Tad, no offence Tad, you know, it's nothing personal, pal. But yes, so Knox came up to me today when I started. Well, he didn't come up to me. He was trotting around with a little thought bubble above his bell head, and said that he wanted to move. So I've got a friend who has Diana ready for me. But I thought I'd also have a look on a few islands, see what we've got going. So, main reason for today's stream, main reason for the tour is, as I've said, or I hope I've said, I have completely remodeled the island. It was on a whim. I just decided that I didn't really like the way that the island was. I didn't really feel like it flowed too much. And if I show you here, with my handy dandy technical wizardry, this is how the island used to look. So there was like one massive river. I felt like all the rivers and ponds needed to be connected and everything, and that sort of thing. You know, it just didn't really feel like it flowed very well, to be honest with you. But if we have a look here now at the island, this is what it looks like now. Well, this is the island map for it now. So I have two main areas where my villages are, which I wanted. I didn't kind of like how they were all scattered out and stuff, and I also wanted to do proper little villager neighbourhoods. The orchard has now moved up to near where the bee garden is. The Japanese garden has also changed. And the only place that hasn't is the fairy garden. The fairy garden is the only spot on the island that I haven't touched. So, without further ado, let's begin the tour. So, we come out of the airport. You've just landed at Tarasaigh, you know, and we have a lovely welcome to Tarasaigh pattern now on the floor. I did try and do this using a nice font and EQR creator thingy that there is online, but it didn't really work too well, so I used the W that was from the QR thingy, and then I just kind of ad-libbed everything else myself. So you can pop out the airport, we've got the welcome sign and a nice bridge, and we've got like a little village square. Some of this furniture, not only is it absolutely flipping beautiful, but it is also from the wedding event that there currently is with the recent Cyrus, who were in Newly, and I have customised it to the chic option. So we've got a little wedding arch, we've got some wedding decorations, we've got the wedding sign, and then, you know, we've got the fountain that we've had in before and stuff. And then on this side we've got a couple of little seating areas, and then we come this way and we've got resident services, we've got leave today. Of course, I had the street organ before, and, you know, redoing the island, you know, not just one, but I have 2 in now. And I've also changed which street organ it is as well, because originally it was one of these ones, then I changed it to the light one, and now changed it back to these dark ones. And I absolutely love the street organs. They remind me of little quaint European villages. Now you can't tell me that's not bloody cute. Anyway, so we go on from resident services, and we have the shops. So I need a couple of trees and a couple of flowers to plot in here. Oh, apologies. I didn't really know what to put in here, but I've just decided to do another one of those like little seating areas. So we've got Nook's Cranny, we hopped over the bridge, and we have the Able Sisters. I've not actually been in yet today, so I wonder if there's anything good in there. Tell you what. Oh, sorry, Heather. yes, Tad is long gone. Tad is long gone from the island. So yeah, so we'll go from resident services, and we will head up past here and go up to the first resident area. So you get a little sneak peek of the museum here as well. So some idiot kind of got to sort this area around to match it up with the other side. Wonder which idiot that was. Helen. So I was on a frantic search for a random island that had fully grown cedar trees, so it looked sort of decent on the screen. And I went on 3 islands, I think, in about 30 minutes and harvested everything. And on the 3rd island I managed to finally find some. So these bushes are just kind of patiently waiting to be grown. So, but anyway, we come down here and we have our first set of villages. We have Agent X, we have Stitches, we have Phoebe, and we have Sky. Now Sky absolutely loves to sing. She's a little bit pitchy, but we love her anyway. Phoebe was one of my other original first villagers, and in fact actually up here these are all my first villagers, I've just realised. So Phoebe along with Tad were the original 2 that I started off with, and then on the random islands before we all got too crazy into it, I managed to find Sky, then it was Stitches, and then it was Agent X. I think if there are any other villages that I want to let go, because I mean, if we look at the villages that I've got, I think we would agree that Helen has a pretty damn good set of villages. We've got Kiki, we've got Phoebe, we've got Bluebear, we've got Agent S, we've got Clay, we've got Stitches, we've got Nox, we've got Sky, we've got Whitney, and we've got everybody's favourite little grumpy squirrel, Marshall! But I think if there were any that I wanted to get rid of, I mean, Nox is already taken care of. Nox is getting booted out tomorrow, thankfully. But I think if we did have to let another one go, I think we'd let Agent S go, to be honest with you. I mean, part of the reason why I moved Stitches out, or was happy for Stitches to move out, is because I've got too many of each personality type. I've got Kiki and Sky, who are both normal. I've got Bluebear and Agent S, who are both peppy. I've got Clay and Stitches, who are both lazy. And then I've got Phoebe, who's Uchi, or Big Sister. And then I also have Marshall, who's smug. But now I also have Whitney, who's snooky. But yes, some of the villagers ain't never leaving this island, whether I have their amiibos or not, because they are far too precious. Kiki, for example. Kiki was the resident that I loved the most in the first ever game that I played of Animal Crossing, which was Wild World. And when she moved out, I was absolutely heartbroken. And Bluebear, same thing with City Folk, or Let's Go to the City, depending on which version you played. She was the villager that I loved the most on City Folk, and she's actually still there. And then Clay was the villager that I fell in love with from New Leaf. So there's one villager that I fell in love with from each of the games that I've played, and then everyone else I just kind of like, you know. So yeah, anyway, so they all have their own little gardens and they are all personalised for them. All the females have white garden tables and white chairs, and all the males have black. So Stitches has like a little tricycle and a little rocking horse and some red wind flowers. Didn't really know what to do for Agent S, to be honest with you, because another thing that's also important to say about the gardens is I wanted their furniture for their gardens to be entirely handmade, so DIY, because, you know, I think that just means a little bit more than just ordering it out of the catalogue. You know, call me stupid, it's a game, but whatever. You know, just means a little bit more to me. But I didn't really know what to do for Agent S. I also didn't really know what to do for Phoebe either, so I just stuck swinging benches in there. I also didn't really know what to do for Sky, but I just thought the shell fountain kind of looked pretty, so I did that for her. And then we will come down this way. We'll go back on ourselves, and I'll show off my lovely new museum area. So here we have the Aphingosaurus Rex, also known as the T-Rex. Rawr! And then we have a little picnic area, and then we have the main museum itself with the little fountain and benches, and a very sort of rotatingly placed rock. And then another picnic area, and then of course I was keeping this fella. Of course I was keeping Tarasaigh the Triceratops. You know, ain't getting rid of him for nothing. So there we go. Tarasaigh is the dinosaur bringing up the left of the museum. So and then we come up this way, and we come up to the second resident area. Oh, there's a balloon there. 1 minute, let me just Widowmaker that balloon down. Pew! Nice. Oh, what? Rude. Oh well, I'll make a new one later. Keep meaning to make another golden slingshot. There you go. Ow. I was hoping it'd be another summer DIY, but there you go. Anyway. So in this section we have Marshall. Again for Marshall I didn't really know what to make for his garden, so I just kind of put a chalkboard in because his house is like a cafe sort of thing. Let's go check in on Marshall, let's say hi to him and stuff and see what he's up to. Hello there Marshall, how you doing pal? He calls me Maestro now, he gave me the nickname last night. I love it. Let's have a chit chat. It is me. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks, Marshall. Yes, it is me. I gave Marshall that aroma pot as well, but everything else is as he was. One thing that I don't particularly like doing I know it sounds probably pretty weird. I like keeping my villagers pretty OG. Like in their original outfits, keeping the houses as they were and stuff. So yes, but anyway. So, and then we have the adorable little lazy hamster Clay. He has fossils in his garden because his house is a dig site, basically, and he's crafting as well. What are you crafting there, Clay? Hey, buddy. What are you doing? Oh! I do already know how to make a sign for my little sugar lump. I will have them back up. And I will apologise for the quick erase, yes. Alrighty. So that's what Clay was up to in there. Anyway, so yes, so then we have Kiki and Blue Bear in there. And then we have Whitney and Knox, who's gonna be moving now. Gonna be moving now. Yes. Anyway, so Kiki's garden has a beehive and some black roses in it because Kiki likes to get out her magnifying glass and examine the roses. Blue Bear has the I don't know swinging bench. Whitney has this beautiful white variant of the garden wagon that they also have in front of Abel's. And then Knox has the because Knox's house is full of like golden furniture and stuff. And also another thing to note about the villager houses is that they all have personalised door plates as well. So we shall move on from the villagers and we shall show off the new and improved campsite. So we have this little seating area here with a leaf campfire that a friend who has an island on the southern hemisphere very kindly gave me. I customised it though to have the marshmallows. I've been meaning to do that. But we also have a little acoustic guitar. We've got a water pump and a water bucket and some firewood for the fire. And then we've got a little sign, a little tourist telescope, some leaves, and then we've got a little cooking area, and then my two favourite boys, Miranchi and Miss Gorpy. I love them. I got the idea of having the at least the tarantula model up near the campsite from my friend's island because I was visiting one day and it was middle of the afternoon. That's important. And I went up. I was having a nosy around his island, and I went up past the campsite and I saw the tarantula and I thought, oh crap, it's a tarantula. And then I got closer and it didn't move and I was like, oh, it's just a moth, isn't it? And then it got me again when I went back the other way to go back down again. And it was the middle of the day. Tarantulas don't spawn in the middle of the day. They spawn from 7 o'clock onwards. So, but anyway. So, we shall move on from the campsite up into my Japanese garden. And I have added a few more things in here today. So the whole idea with my Japanese garden is pretty much the same as it was the last island, last time I did my island. I want it to look like a Japanese temple or something that has become overgrown and has kind of fallen into disrepair a little bit. That's kind of why there's bamboo, kind of strategically placed for spacing and everything, but also kind of just thrown around. Same with the, well, actually not same with the black lilies, they've just kind of grown where they wanted to. Because anytime it rains, these guys go berserk and grow like mad. So, but yes, I like my little gravestone that I've got there. I like to think of that as like a shrine that was there in the temple for some like important person or something, and then just everything else that there is in here, like the lanterns and the stone dogs were like the entrance to the temple at one point. But yes, I absolutely love like ancient Japan and ancient China. One thing I'd love to see one day is the terracotta army that's in China. I'd absolutely love to go there and see that. I'd also love to go and see all the old temples, the old pagodas, all that sort of thing. Absolutely love ancient Japan and ancient China. I find it very interesting. And also the terracotta statue that there is that you can get from Red on here. I really want that as well. There's a few statues and pieces of art that I really want. We'll talk about that when we look at the museum, because there's quite a few things in the museum. So we have here the first half of my orchard, and then we come on to one of my favourite spots on the island. So the back of the museum here, we have this lovely megalore fossil, which is a big old ancient deer thing. That sounds very informative, I know. But yes, behind our megalore we have my bee garden. So, bee garden is kind of incomplete, as you can probably tell. I need a few more purple, I need pink ones even. And I also need some more green ones. And I also need Flick to visit my island a little bit more, because I need some more bee models, and I also need some other models that we'll talk about in a minute. So, if you don't know, I absolutely love bees. Bees are one of my favourite things in the whole entire world. Bees are incredibly important. We need bees, because without bees we wouldn't have crops, we wouldn't have flowers. A lot of the birds and insects that feed on various different crops and various different plants that are pollinated by bees would die out, and therefore the things that feed on them would die out because there's nothing for them to eat, and etc, etc. Probably think I'm really daft for saying this, but every time I see a bee I try and help it out. If unfortunately there's nothing that I can do for the bee, if the bee has gone to the great beehive in the sky, then I give it a little funeral. I say thank you to it for what it's done for us. And yes, absolutely love bees. So yes, so going on from the bee garden, like I said, it's not really changed. There's nothing particularly new, but since we're doing an island tour, I'll show it off anyway, because this is another area of the island that I'm pretty proud of. And it's also the only area of the island I actually need two of to access. Ignore that free grab. So this is my secret fairy forest. With New Leaf, I originally wanted to do a fairy forest and also a Japanese garden, but because of the limitations of that, I couldn't really do it. It didn't really look too great. But yeah, I am well chuffed with this area. Absolutely well chuffed with it. So we've got here a little stone tablet with like some stone stools, so you can just sit and contemplate and like think about everything, that sort of thing. And then behind the trees here, it's kind of more of a rectangle. But we have what I tried to make as a fairy circle. And I know I just walked through the fairy circle, I'm going to walk back out again. But yeah, very, very happy with my fairy garden. Kind of feels like it's a little bit too cluttered, but I am pretty happy with it on the whole. So, I'll climb back down over here, and we shall move on to the next area. Just so that you know, by the way, the area after this, there is a trigger warning for it. So if you have, or if you have triggers to the topic of taking your own life, that sort of thing, or mental health triggers or anything like that, then the bit after this bit will not be for you. But yeah. We have here the second half of my orchard, and then my graveyard. So in here is the other reason why I want to talk to that little handsome chameleon flick, because I really want some firefly models, and I really hope that they glow, that their bums glow. The reason why I want the firefly models is there is a film by Studio Ghibli called Grave of the Fireflies, and I absolutely love that film so much, so much. Its basic idea of it is it's set in World War II, while America was firebombing Japan. And the story is told through the eyes of Sita, who is 10, and his little sister Cisco, who is I think 4 or 5, not that old. But even though the subject matter, the fact that it's America firebombing World War II, America firebombing World War II, America firebombing Japan even in World War II, even though it's upsetting subject matter, because it's told through the eyes of children, because it's told through them, it almost makes it not seem as sad, if that makes sense. Like, there's the childhood innocence to it all and everything. But yes, I want some fireflies for my graveyard. There's a moment in the film where Sita and Setsuko are hiding out in a cave because they've got nowhere else to live, and Sita catches some fireflies in a jar to light up the cave. And because fireflies don't live very long, the next morning they're dead. And Setsuko asks Sita, why do the fireflies have to die? But yes, it's an incredible film. Get yourself some tissue because you will be crying by the end of it, I can guarantee you that. But yes, if you can get the chance to watch it, watch it. But anyway, so I'm going to need to do a little bit of jigger and pokery here to get to the next point. And the next point of the island is the one where the trigger warning is in place. So if you are triggered by mental health things and things of that nature, then this portion of the tour will not be for you. Pop back in about 10-15 minutes or so, should finish properly by then. Yeah. So if you're around for it though, this area here is a pretty simple area, and there is a reason for it. This is my suicide memorial. I know that sounds quite strange, but when I was 3, my adopted cousin James, he took his own life. My best friend, in the 6 years now that I've known her, she's had her own mental health struggles as well, and she's also, tried to take her own life. And also, I have had my struggles with mental health and stuff. I think I've been struggling for a lot longer than I originally thought. I think it was more a case of, I don't really feel like I'm bad enough to go and get help. But a couple of years ago, 2018, place where I work, I was bullied by a member of staff, and my mental health just took a nosedive pretty much from January of 2018 to don't want to say like August, September-ish. And then it was September, October where I finally decided to do something about it. So I went and spoke to the doctor, had a chat with her, told her what was going on and stuff. And she did a depression test with me. And I scored on the high end of mild depression. And she said I also had OCD, and she also thought that I had mild autism as well. So, jury's still out on the autism. I'm waiting on my day to have an appointment to be diagnosed. It was an 18-month waiting list, but that was before coronavirus and everything happened, and I'd already been waiting about a year. So who knows what's happening with that. I am on antidepressants for the depression and partially for the OCD, and I have also completed now cognitive behavioural therapy, or CBT, for my OCD, and I'm pretty happy to report that Sandra, which was the name that I gave my OCD because OCD is basically a bit of a bully, I'm happy to report that Sandra, my OCD bully, is pretty much non-existent anymore. But yes, this area is also important to me because when I went to go see the doctor, I got put on sick leave for a month, and then the week I was due to go back, I found out that I was going to be made redundant. So I was already on benefits at that point because I wasn't getting sick pay, and I decided that I was going to try volunteering. I was also applying for work as well, obviously, and because I was redundant because I didn't have a job, I wasn't really leaving the house apart from to go to the job centre, which is a requirement for my the benefit that I was on. So I wasn't really leaving the house. My friend at the time, she was quite busy, and I didn't really feel like I had anyone. And that kind of spilled into 2019, where in 2019, in the end of January, I started volunteering at the British Heart Foundation. So that got me out of the house for 3 days a week, which was good. And I finally, because it was weird, it was like a feeling of being numb. Like I couldn't really feel anything, but at the same time I felt everything, if that makes sense. So yeah, I finally realised, because I couldn't quite put my finger on why I was feeling what I was feeling. Now, I've never been suicidal. I'm too scared of death to be suicidal. But I realised in that time that, the reason I was feeling why I was feeling was because I felt like if I didn't wake up in the morning, nobody would miss me. My friend would be fine. She has her friends and family over where she lives because she lives in a different town. My dad would be fine. He'd, get on with things. My bunny wouldn't miss me too much because, he only likes me for food. But yeah, that's the reason why this area is here. Mental health and mental health awareness is something that's incredibly important to me. And I hope that eventually one day that the stigma around mental health and the taboo around mental health will eventually not be there, and that people, both male, female, cis, trans, everybody, everybody and anybody can talk about the mental health openly, candidly, and not really care too much about what people think and stuff. Um, so this area is just pretty simple. There's a grave and there's some shoes by the edge of the water. The shoes are there by the edge of the water because in Japan it is a custom where if you are committing suicide or taking your own life, then you take your shoes off before you do so, because then you are not tracking the physical, metaphorical, mental, emotional, any dirt that was with you, any like negative thoughts, anything that could be perceived as being negative going into the afterlife, they are left on this earthly plane and do not follow you into the afterlife. But anyway, that is the reason behind that delay. So we will move on to something else now. We'll have a quick look in the museum, because as I said, I do have some new things in the museum. We've got some. Oh yeah, that's Knox, by the way. Knox is the one who's moving out. He's the belt chicken. So museum, few new things. I think as well we have some things in that big tank in the river area, the river fish area. Can't try to say that 3 times fast. So yes, I think we've got some big fish in there now. But we'll have a quick look through the bug joint first. So bugs, fireflies, tiger beetle, Madagascar sunset moth, tiger butterfly, show beetle, Rosalie Battisti beetle, I think it's called, and citrus longhorn, and then bagworm, wasp, Atlas moth. I keep wanting to call these lunar moths and it's really annoying me. But Goliath beetle, there's a wasp as well, there's a spider, a drone beetle, a purple butterfly that I can't remember the name of right now, and the rainbow stag. And then we've got a Ghana dragonfly, a red dragonfly, banded dragonfly, and a violin beetle. There's a peacock butterfly flying up around there. Not a peacock, that's an emperor bat blue one. That's a peacock butterfly there. So yeah, so we'll go into the least favourite room of the bug room first. Well, apart from this room obviously, because this is the one that you come into. So this one is the one that's like the lab. So we've got hermit crab, we've got wolf roaches. I'm pretty sure we should have something else in there as well. Oh no. Anyway, I want a hermit crab model off Flick as well. Up here is the lab sort of area. We've got mosquitoes, we've got flies, we've got moths, we've got fleas, we've got flies, yeah. Then got butterfly cocoons. One thing I never noticed before is that the ant farm here, there are little ants that crawl up and down, which is quite a cool little thing. But we've got ants, we've got long locusts, we've got mole cricket. That's that one that you can hear that announcing in the ground and you have to dig it up. Then we've got scorpion, we've got ranchies, we've got orchid mantises even. We've got a pillbug, also known as a woodlouse here in the UK. We've got a centipede and we've got a moth. And then, whoopsie daisies, that's not the door, that's the door. We shall go and have a look in the favourite room, which is the butterfly room. Now this is my favourite room because when I was a child, my dad and I would go around to all sorts of museums and art galleries, and we went to this place in Lancaster, which is a city, not too far from where I live. It's about 2-3 hours on the train, I think. There's a few different trains that you have to get on. But there's a place in Lancaster called the Ashton Memorial, which is like a big, massive butterfly house, and it looks just like this, and it just reminds me of being a kid. So we've got emperor butterflies, we've got agria butterflies, we've got peacock butterflies, tiger butterflies, we've got Madagascar sunset moths, we've got Roger Brook birdwings, we've got ladybug, we've got snails, we've got a frog there as well, koi in the pond. But yes, this is an old butterfly I have, because if we have a quick look at my Critipedia, I have all these butterflies. So yes, that purple one's a great purple emperor. Can't remember the name of it. Oh, I think I just saw a birdwing. It was kind of out of frame then, as we were coming by. So yes, that giant water bug, by the way. There we go. This little fella here. So there is a guy that I've started watching. Who's a bit of an idiot. I'll admit. He's called Coyote Peterson, and he is sort of like a wannabe Steve Irwin. He finds creatures and stuff. One of the series that he's done is he's gone through the insect sting pain index and allowed these various insects to sting him. And yes. So one of the insects that he's been bitten by is the giant water bug, and I watched that video. And let me tell you, that's not a little fellow that you want to be getting on the wrong side of. So it's a bit blurry because his head's under the water. He has 2 pincers that are by his face or by his head, and they use that to grip onto the prey. And then they also have a little beak that's just underneath the eyes. And that little beak injects saliva. Now, a giant water bug's typical prey is something like a tadpole, that sort of thing. They're about the size of a leaf, and they also are camouflaged like leaves, so that when you're in the when they're in the water, you don't really see them. But the saliva that they inject when they bite, it basically dissolves the prey inside out, kind of like how a spider's venom works. And you can sort of see it because it's up against the pole of the walkway thing. But there's a little bit sticking out of its bum. That is how it breathes. Yes, it breathes out of a bum snorkel. Now, if that's not a lesson that you've learned for today and whatever, then there you go. You can't say that you don't learn anything on a Helen stream. But yes, giant water bugs breathe out the bums. They've got snorkels in the butts. So we'll have a look at fish next. But I don't really have that many interesting things to say about fish. So here is the fish bit. So we've got like the tropical sort of pond and river fish. Then we've got the frog and koi and carp and crayfish and everybody's favourite snapping turtle. I like the pun that there is with the frog. Either it's a frog or it's a new villager, and I have some apologising to do when you catch it. And then we have the river fish. We've got sturgeon, We've got the tilapia, we've got pale chub, we've got carp, and then we've got the holy trio of the upper river fish, and they are the golden trout, cherry salmon, and char. And then here we have the big boys. The big boys. So we've got the arapaima, we've got the arowana grande. We also have the parana and the dorado. So yes, that's what goes in the big tank. It's the big boy tank. So there are a couple of fish that I have still yet to catch. I've caught all the bugs now for June that were new. I need to catch myself a gar, a whale shark, and another type of shark, I think. But yes, we shall move on to the ocean aquatics. So here we have the big white tank of the ocean. We've got blue marlin, we've got a tuna, we've got a mahi, got a giant trevally, we've got a swordfish. Oh no, that's blue marlin, isn't it? Got a great white shark, got anchovies, got horse mackerels, got the suckerfish, and yes, all that lovely prey in there for that great white shark to eat. But there you go. We should also have a hammerhead somewhere as well. I've caught a hammerhead shark as well. But here we have the deep sea boys. We've got a coelacanth, we've got an oarfish, we've got a football fish, also known as an anglerfish, over here in the UK, and a barrel eye. So yes, they're the deep sea boys. They're their own little band in that corner. So I wonder if the hammerhead's going to be with the tropical fish in the next bit. So we've got butterfly fish in there. We've got Nemo, we've got Dory, we've got the one that's obsessed with bubbles. We also have a ribbon eel. Then down here, oh, there's the hammerhead. We have my favourite fish in the whole entire world, the red snapper, because he's a pretty common fish and he sells for quite a bit of dollar. And then we have the least favourite fish, that's the pain in the arse of every Animal Crossing player, the sea bass. We've got the zebra turkey fish, we've got the barred knife jaw, we've got the dab, we've got the olive flounder somewhere in here and all, got a squid. There's the olive flounder, and the big boy back there. But yes, that's my fish. Oh, and the seahorse as well. Seahorse. So, fossils next. And the fossils I have now completed. So, fossils. So we have the little diddly fossils in here, like we've got the trilobite, we've got the amber, we've got the Ankythiostega, I think. Don't quote me on that one, I ain't that great with fossils. But then in here we've got the big boys. So we've got the aquatic reptiles here. This was the little fella that I was missing the wing for. This little fella here. And then we've got a Stegosaurus, got a Diplodocus, I think it's Diplodocus. Oh, it's an Ankylosaurus. Oh well. Then we've got Tarasaigh, T-Rex, got some dinosaur poop. We've got the Archaeopteryx. I love this little one, he's called a Jeremiah, and he's really tiny and really cute. And then I didn't actually know this until the stamp rally happened. But if you stand on this blue spot here, that's when it shows off the meteorite up there. But we've got the Bronchiosaurus, I think. Well, no, that's the Diplodocus. And that's the Bronchiosaurus. Oh no, Brachiosaurus. Oh well. None of them are Bronchiosaurus. Oh no, it was that one, Brachiosaurus. Oh no, it is a Brontosaurus. Brontosaurus is a completely separate dinosaur. Ignore me, I'm just being completely stupid. And then we have the evolution room. So I love this room. I think it's the coolest room of all the dinosaur exhibits because up here we have all the silhouettes of the animals, and there are little lines that go down to each one. So for example, cat goes down to the saber tooth. Mammoth is connected to the elephant. And then if we keep on going up here, there's one missing. What goes there? You go there, because that's your great Uncle Norman down there. Hey Norman, how you doing, pal? Drink you all in here? Yeah, cool. Right, see you later, Norman. I know I'm an idiot. But yes, that's it for the fossils. And then we move on to the least filled area of the museum, which is unfortunate because it's also probably going to end up being my favourite bit of the museum, which is the art gallery. Now, if you don't know, I have a degree in photographic media. I got a 2-1. I haven't actually used the degree at all since I left university, but there you go. And as I said before, been around museums and art galleries my entire life. And my dad also has a degree in fine art. My cousin also has a degree in fine art. So we're a bit of an art-centred family. But yes, I love classical paintings. Critical studies that I did at university looked more at like modern art and that sort of thing, which I'm not a really big fan of. But yes, there's a few paintings in here that I really want. We have the scary painting. We have this one, which I have seen in real life. It's down in London. The bar at Folies Bierge by Manet. And then we have up here a Turner. My dad absolutely loves Turner's work. And then we've got this one in here, which is a Velazquez. That's the one. And then down here we've got one of my absolute favourite paintings, Venus Rising from the Sea. Oh no, it's not Venus Rising from the Sea, is it? It's Birth of Venus. Birth of Venus by Botticelli. My dad actually did a painting or an ink drawing called Venus Rising from the Sea, and I always get them confused. But yes, we've also got Lady with an Ermine by Da Vinci. I really want, I'm gonna have to try and remember them all now. I really want David by Michelangelo. There is a painting of the Scottish Highlands that I really want. Can't remember what it's called in game though. Also really want the Terracotta Warrior. And there's a few, I'm sure there's a couple more that I really want as well. But I can't think of those off the top of my head. But anyway, so we will pop out of the museum now, and I'll show you off my beach. Beach isn't too different from last time. I've changed a few things around. I've changed what music's playing and stuff. Added a few things in there and whatever. You'll see when we get over there. So So beach. We have a table tennis table now on the rocks by the water. I changed the surfboard that was here, and I also changed the hammocks and beach towels to reflect the new surfboard. And I also finally added in that shell arch that I meant to in the original island tour, but forgot to because I'm a bit of an idiot. And then we pop down here, run, for the picnic area there, by the way. Sneak up my garden there, which we'll be looking at next. This is the second beach area, and then we come to the Pièce de Résistance, effectively my side of the island, and my house and my personal beach, because you know I made all this happen. I deserve a larger chunk of the island than the other villagers have, you know. I'm just saying. But yes, this is my house and this is my garden now. So this is slightly changed. My pond is slightly smaller. I also moved my house. I don't think we can actually get up there now because of that bush and that ladybird. But I'll run up there right quick, show it off. But above my house, in this little area here, I have a little reading / chill out nook, where I can just, you know, sit and chill when I want to get away from the villagers for a bit and, you know, not have to bother with them. Come on, not bother, thank you. And then garden is pretty much the same, you know, we've got like a little bench out. Oh, there's a summer shell. 1 minute, drop everything, let's, oh, there's 2, oh, oh, spicy, plus summer shell, oh, yes please, thank you, right, sorry, distracted by the summer shells there. Yes, there is a lot of bacon on the floor there is a reason for that, I'll explain that in a minute. But yes, house is pretty much the same. Not much has changed with the house. I've changed the exterior a little bit. The downstairs is the main bit that I've changed. I've added some more stuff into the star room. So I've added in this crude spaceship. And the starry garlands, which I was meaning to put in last time. But yes, very happy with my my island thingy, my star room here. Hello Naruto. Unfortunately, my turnip prices are doggone awful. They are currently 81 bells per turnip. And hello Braden of Fry Gang. So yes, that's pretty much it with my house and everything. And that also is pretty much it with the island tour. So yeah, if you have joined, I'll take you back to the island. Oh yeah, forgot about the fish bait, didn't I? Quick thing with the fish bait. So, there is a little achievement in the Nut Mile section that is called Cast Master, where you've got to cast out and catch 100 fish without missing any of them. 100 fish is the last one, and as you can see, I have gotten painfully close. 86 to be precise. There was a little fish, well, it wasn't a little fish, it was a big fish, in the pond up near my fairy garden, and I thought it might have been a gar, and I think it probably was a gar, which is one of the fish that I need. But the little bugger spoiled my streak. So what I'm doing is I'm going to get 100 fish bait together, and then I'm going to do them all at once. Gonna catch 100 fish all in one go and get that achievement done. Thank you very much. I ain't wasting any more time trying to catch 100 fish in a row. I'm pretty bad at catching fish anyway, so... Anyway. So, that is pretty much it for the island tour. I shall just take you back to the airport, you know, so you can fly off home. But thank you very much for joining me on my island. Hi there, Nats. We're going to be going tomorrow. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you very much for joining me on my island and with this island tour. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that it's been a little bit educational with the giant water bug facts. And yes, I hope that you've enjoyed it. And thank you for watching if you've watched live. Thank you for watching if you're watching it back later. And yes, thank you very much. And I shall see you later, guys.